The apparent gunman posted graphic video of the shooting on Facebook and on Twitter. Our senior investigative correspondent Drew Griffin is joining us now live with more. Tell us about these posts, because they are so chilling.
And it's so chilling because they played out as the suspect was being sought by police. It was a Twitter account to Bryce Williams with his name and appearance. And if you read backwards, he is talking about the people he shot. He said Alison made racist comments. EEOC report filed. They hired her after that. And then he goes on to say, Adam went to HR on me after working with me one time. And then finally this tweet, I filmed the shooting, see Facebook. All of these accounts are down, but when you see Facebook, and we saw the count, you see the actual gunman viewpoint of the shooting itself. It is quite horrific and quite, it represents what he wanted to show the world, which is that he murdered these people.
It was as if he was wearing a GoPro.
It looked exactly like it.
Yeah.
I just came back from a police raid in Jamaica where we had a police detective wearing a GoPro, and what you see is the exact shot that we filmed down in Jamaica, which is hands out, the gun, and the gun shooting at somebody. It is that explicit, and Facebook has since taken it down.
Yeah,
it's really horrific.
It really is awful for anyone who caught it before it was removed, and it was so very disturbing. And I understand there's apparently a fax that was sent to ABC News by this suspect.
We don't know what's in it. It is 23 pages long. It was described as a manifesto. It was sent to ABC News sometime overnight. ABC News immediately handed it over to authorities, so it is in their investigative hands right now. But we know that this appears to be a very planned out event. He knew where these people were going to be this morning. He had these tweets sent out after he did this. Obviously, it was very carefully planned, including the fact that he was going to post this from video he was going to take live during the event.
And the days leading up to this, he was posting all sorts of pictures of himself, of his childhood, going through his whole history. You've seen those.
Yeah, we have seen those. It goes all the way back to his childhood. He did some modeling. He goes through his whole life on Twitter within the last 2 weeks or so. Keep in mind, he's been fired from the station since February of 2013. And when he left the station, according to the people who worked there, he was actually escorted out of the newsroom. And when he cleared out his desk in the newsroom, the station was so concerned about him, Wolf, that they had everybody leave that room while he came in, got his stuff, and left under police escort, we're told. That was February of 2013.
That's more than 2 years ago. This has been presumably brewing in his mind, if this was a revenge or a disgruntled employee or anything along those lines.
That's right. I'm sure this station thought they'd seen the last of him. It's been so long. But again, we're just learning about his interaction, how long he's been holding this grudge. We don't know if there was any continued contact with the station after his firing. All those details to come.
What a horrific story, a very chilling story. Thanks very much, Drew, for that report. Questions remain about the apparent shooter's mental state at the time of the horrific act. Our Ashley Banfield spoke with WDBJ station manager Jeffrey Marks about the man, Vester Flanagan. The conversation taking place shortly before news broke that Flanagan shot himself while being chased on I-66 by police. Look at this.
And tell us right now about this Vester Flanagan, who went by Bryce Williams, this former employee, this disgruntled employee.
Well, we've agreed to cooperate with the authorities and not try to do their job for them. But what I can tell you, since that name is out there, that this is an individual who came to work for us as a reporter. And about 2 years ago, I'm thinking, we had to separate him from the company. And we did understand that he was still living in the area. Occasionally he would run into people from our company.
And the disturbing nature of tweets that are going out, presumably under his name, and even a video that's been posted from what appears to be the shooter's perspective and what appears to be the shooter committing the crime. This is just so distressing. How much of this are you working with the police and trying to assess the details, the facts, and the evidence?
Well, whatever they need, we're providing them. History on this individual, the video from the actual shooting this morning, and but in terms of all this other stuff, if we get it, we are, of course, turning it over immediately. But the world we live in, if we got the tweet, lots of other people got the tweet as well.
And I'm just wondering if to be clear to our viewers, there are two distinct videos we're talking about. There is a live morning show broadcast that went out over the airwaves where the shots rang out and we saw the reaction from Alison. And then there is the video that is posted on a Facebook account allegedly by the shooter, by the person going by the name of Esther Flanagan, aka Bruce Williams, if it is that person posting it, from the shooter's own perspective, seeing the gun and targeting the reporter. Have you've seen this?
No, I haven't, because as we're doing this right now, I was just notified about it. Remember, of course, that people can use other names in other people's names in tweeting things, but considering that that's pretty unlikely in this case, I think it makes sense that the police are focused on that one individual.
And without question, we need to say that we do not have any confirmation at this point, at this early stage, that it is this person posting under his name. We don't know that, but it is horrifyingly distressful what we're witnessing on this video, and the tweets that also allege issues with not only Alison but also with Adam. Are you aware that he had, these issues with these two employees who were on that live shot this morning?
No, we have no indication of that. I don't think Alison and that individual even overlapped here. Alison had been here a little more than a year. Adam had been here some time longer. I can't figure out any connection with those people who were among the kindest, nicest people who worked here. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. This place is in shock, as you might expect. There's a lot of crying and hugging going on. We just can't even reckon with that. And, people are asking, well, who was shot first and what video is there and all of that. And as journalists, we want to be able to answer those questions, but those are really secondary to what has happened in our organization that will last forever. We will be that TV station where this terrible thing happened.
Jeff, I'm still trying to process the tweets that are coming out by someone under the name of Bryce Williams 7 with a photo that certainly looks like the former reporter or employee of yours, specifically saying that Adam went to HR on me after working with me one time. Alison made racist comments. Again, not sure if this is him tweeting out under his verified account, but is there talk in the newsroom among your colleagues about this kind of frustration that it seems Bryce Williams may have had?
He did make some accusations against people some time ago. You can never imagine that somebody's going to come back and act on those issues that were so old. It was, I guess, a little bothersome that he was still in town and would be seen by our employees. But again, what do you do? Do you imagine that everybody who leaves your company under difficult circumstances is going to take aim? But you think about, the number of times it's happened around the country. Mm-hmm. With television stations, but the expression "going postal," and it can always happen. Why were they the targets and not I?
And that is such a question, especially right with these tweets that he names Alison by name. He the person behind the tweets also naming Adam by name. And I'm curious if when you said he had made comments before, had those comments, to your recollection or knowledge, included Alison or Adam? And I'll add to that, has he shown up at the station at all?
Actually, it's been so long, I don't really recall. It could have been, and they could have overlapped, Alison and this fellow, but I just don't have a strong recollection on that.
The third victim in this shooting incident, Vicki Gardner. She's a local Chamber of Commerce director there. You see a picture of her. She was shot. She's now listed as being in stable condition. The other two victims, the reporter Alison Parker, 24 years old. The cameraman, Adam Ward, 27 years old, were shot and killed. We'll have much more coverage of the breaking news right after this.
Thanks for joining Walrus News Now. You were listening to Wolf Blitzer on CNN about the horrific shooting that occurred at approximately 6:45 this morning, where a reporter and a photojournalist were executed by a former disgruntled employee, and also a third victim is now listed in stable condition in the hospital. Thanks for joining us. Have a lovely day.